Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Mike Thomas, aka the Young Trishula. We're back. You might have been wondering where I've been. I've been gone for a little bit, as some of you guys might know, but there's a reason for that. You guys might be able to tell. I've moved. I'm in a new office now, new apartment. We still got the boxes. We're still, kind of in the process of unpacking. So, if you've been wondering where I've been at, that's where I was moving. But we are still here on Twitch, at twitch.tv/TrishulaTTV. Because you can tell chat is still here. The clock is here. We're doing our subathon right now. Of course, want to give a huge shout out to the community for all of the love and support they've given us throughout this subathon. We're currently on day 4, and as you can see, we still have quite a ways to go. They're holding me as a hostage, but if you would like to come out and join us and keep me as a hostage as well, maybe learn some things about Dragon Link, this is the place to be. So we're gonna be live pretty much 24/7 until I've been released by my captors. But that's not what we're here to talk about, because there was a ban list today, and that ban list is very relevant for Dragon Link. So as this is a mainly Dragon Link channel, this is gonna be my take on the ban list. But more so kind of my thoughts on the ban list from a Dragon Link perspective, because I think this ban list is largely just a Dragon Link relevant ban list. I mean, you'll see what I mean when I get into it. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just hop straight into that. And let's start talking about this list. So as you can see, banned cards, Kashtira, Rise Heart. This is the only card that was banned. And this is really good for dragons. Right out the gate, this is really good for dragons. Kashtira Rise Heart was the biggest problem card for a lot of decks in the metagame, but especially so for Dragon Link, because Dragon Link has always had two problems in general. It can't deal very well with a Dark Law, and it can't deal very well with a Trident. This is both a Dark Law and a Trident. So you might have seen some things that Dragon Link players were doing to try and beat this. Be that playing Kaijus in the main deck, Kurikara, even going so far as to play maybe Small World with Gamma to just try and beat this card. Very, very difficult card for dragons to deal with, and the deck building has kind of reflected that. As for the limited, this is where it really starts to get bad though. So we ate here, and now we starve here. They have finally limited us our Magnemite, the card that has kind of been hard carrying Dragon Link for a while now, with the resource looping of Lubellion for Magnemite, summon Magnemite, end phase, search Druid's Worm, make a seal, summon another Magnemite effect, search something else. Just that constant resource loop going on. We don't have access to that perfect resource loop anymore, because Magnemite, as it's been limited everywhere in every other format, it is now limited in the TCG. So not great for D-Link, but as we'll get into later, I don't think this is going to actually be the biggest problem for dragons. What I see actually is more of a bigger problem for Dragon Link is the limit to chaos space. This is a very, very evil hit. Very, very evil on Konami's part. As the TCG has the most hits for Dragon Link of any of the formats. Dragon Link has just a few slaps on the wrist over an OCG, with the Bestials all pretty much being hit. And then in Master Duel, the deck is pretty much completely ignored. It's very full power over there. So love us some Master Duel. But Chaos Space to 1 actually is a really big issue for Dragon Link moving forward, because we only have one copy of Striker Dragon being not only our starting Link 1, but also our mid-game grind Link 1. Having to prioritize recycling that card has never been more important in this deck, because previously you'd be able to, even with the one striker, you'd be able to use a Chaos Space to maybe put back a Collapse Serpent or something, draw a card, get that free discard, and then just have that peace of mind knowing that at some point during the game you could draw into a Chaos Space, put back a striker, and get that resource going again when you need it. Now you don't have that luxury anymore. That Chaos Space better be putting back your Striker Dragon, or else it's gone for good. And what that means is that puts a lot of pressure on our regained to do a lot of the heavy lifting of the resource grind in the deck. So this is going to be a new challenge for a lot of Dragon Link players to overcome in an already very challenging deck, is to really stay on top of that resource management in the mid to late games to make sure that you do have access to the cards that you need when you do need them. So Chaos Space to 1 not only hurts the consistency, but also hurts the long-term game plan of the deck. That said, though, I don't think that these are really going to be game-ending for Dragon Link. I mean, Dragons is still a very, very powerful deck that has a lot of options. So many options, and there's definitely a lot of alternatives to these cards that I think that we can get into and, you know, start talking about, like, what the lists might shift to as we move forward. Excuse me, I'm also a little bit sick, if you can't tell from my voice. So also for our unlimits, these unlimits don't really matter too much, so I'm going to skim over them. Orange Lake came back to 3, cool, and Gazelle is now back to 3. Nice. Salmon Grape players rejoice, I guess. But these aren't super relevant for us, so I'm going to skip past these. Now I want to get into why I think these hits aren't going to matter too much. And to do so, I'm going to share with you all a meme that I was shared on Facebook recently. That meme is not this, but this. My friend Darren, who recently got top 16 at the YCS in Vancouver. He's my good friend and deck building partner for Dragon Link. We've worked together for a very long time now on all of our deck lists. And this is a conversation we were having on Facebook before the YCS, to which I said, Darren, we are not signing up with 3 Druis, 1 Magnemite. To which I then replied, Apollo, the gift of prophecy, this little meme, because apparently, according to this ban list, we are now doing that. So I guess Darren, as always, is a little bit ahead of his time with his foreshadowing. But the reason I bring this up is not for this, but this was Darren's deck list from YCS Vancouver. He got top 16, I believe. He lost to Jesse in Top Cut. I think he was X1 in Swiss, and I don't remember who his loss was in Swiss. It was either Ryan or Jesse. But I mean, his list went absolutely crazy. And my list, you know, for this event was pretty similar. I mean, we worked off the same shell. I just made a few changes to, you know, with my defensive cards and with my side deck. Largely because he had a theory that we should not be playing many Bestials. So he only played 1 Lubellion, 1 Magnemite, 1 Sarnier, 1 Druis in his main deck. And it wasn't until the night before the YCS that I was even able to convince him to side deck 2 Magnemite, 1 Druis. And the only reason I was able to convince him of that is that I told him that these cards completely invalidate Unchained as a deck. And that, you know, if you draw a Magnemite against Unchained, you win that game immediately. Druis Worm is kind of similar. You know, if you draw Druis against them, it's kind of over. So, and it was only because of that he was able to, or well, he was willing to do this. So for that reason, taking a look at this deck list, I think that this is kind of how we can look at playing Dragon Link maybe in the near future. Now, we might not necessarily need these small worlds anymore, because you don't need to small world search Gamma into a Wise Heart anymore to deal with that problem when it's on the field. However, if you do feel like the deck is starting to lack some consistency, you could always just include these cards as replacements for the Chaos Spaces. But I don't necessarily think that is needed. I think that there are other options that we could go with, even going so far as to just like reduce the deck count, because as you can see, this is a 46 card deck. Dragons has been playing, you know, between 43 and 47, 50 cards for quite a while now. So I think we could also just move back towards playing lower deck counts as well. But, you know, Darren has already proved in a format where 3 Magnemite was available to us that the deck can still find success without the multiple Magnemites. The only real question is whether or not this chaos space limit is really going to kill the deck. And where my head is at, I think what I need to do is we ought to pull up the forbidden Yu-Gi-Oh platform of Dueling Book. I'll let this load. I'm not signed in. All right, well, that's fine. We can pull up the Yu-Gi-Oh database then, because the card that I want to pull up is World Legacy Guard Dragon, and this is the card I want to talk about. So, the issue with Chaos Space, right, is that a lot of the time, like, Chaos Space can get you into your Lubellions, right? And I think that's the idea with them hitting the Chaos Space to 1, is that, well, if you hit Magnamut to 1, there's still 6 Lubellions in their deck. They can still search Magnamut turn 1 all the time. So that's basically like we have 7 Magnamuts. They're just taking us from 9 Magnamuts to 7. So I think they hit the Chaos Space instead of hitting Lubellion, specifically. Which is also another way to hit the white and black dragons, because in OCG, these cards are unlimited, as well as in Master Duel, these cards are unlimited, so, you know, they can play 2 and 2. They wouldn't really care so much about a Chaos Space hit. But over here, we do care about it a little bit. So we have fewer copies of our babies now, which means that we have fewer extenders in our deck, right? And because we really need to get this Magnamut in rotation, if we have Chaos Space, there's going to be a much higher chance that we're going to want to search that Lubellion now, because we might not be able to get into it otherwise. So one thing that I think we can consider as Dragon Link players is moving back to this card that has not seen play for a long time, which is World Legacy Guard Dragon. This used to see a lot of play in Dragon Link when Halki Fibrax was legal, because you could easily, you know, eat a Nibiru and then activate World Legacy Guard Dragon, bring back any Dragon Tuner, make a Hulk, and then summon Synchron from your deck, and then turn that into El Pure Pisti, move it with the Guard Dragon, and you had full combo from there. So it was really, really good at recovering through Nibiru. This card was really, really powerful back then. Not so much now, because Hulk is no longer in the game. But one thing that is interesting about this is that if we are looking just in terms of, like, finding more extenders that we want to include in the deck list, this is a great place to look for it, especially because it allows you to move that Pisti and might lower some of the requirements as to, you know, how many cards you need to combo. So currently you would need 4 dragons to do a full combo with Triple Burst, because you need 2 dragons to make Link 2, a level 4 lower dragon to make your Pisti, and then another dragon or any monster really to link off into your Triple Burst and then resolve the Pisti. This kind of lowers that requirement, where you really only need 2 dragons plus a World Legacy Guard Dragon, because you could activate Guard Dragon, bring back a body, move that Pisti over, reborn something, potentially a Striker Dragon that might have been banished from Red MD, get that back into rotation, keep it in the graveyard so that it can be now banished with the regained and recycled nicely, and combo from there. So this is something that I think you should, as a Dragon Link player, keep your eye on, because I think this does help us out with what we're missing. Because if you think about it, Chaos Space is 2 bodies in 1 when you search the babies. This is kind of 2 bodies in 1, because you get the 1 body back, but then you get into Pisti. You get to move that Pisti, eliminating the need for another body to make the Triple Burst, which then turns into another body on the board. So the World Legacy Guard Dragon does give you those 2 bodies, similarly to how the Chaos Space did. So it could potentially be a nice substitution. Another thing to keep in mind, and this is a combo I don't think I showed on YouTube, but it is one that I had been doing at the YCS in Vancouver, is something to keep in mind is that when you have access to black metal plus, I think it's any bestial, and then either the babies or a rocket, I think the end board that you were more or less consistently able to get was Seals, Borland, IP, Savage Dragon, and then like Beast Regained. So the fact that you need those double bodies, putting in the World Legacy Guard Dragon could help it make that board more consistently now. and would kind of synergize nicely with the black metal dragons in general, because say for example you have a Seifert, you can use the Seifert to go into the babies, make a Romulus, get Dragon Ravine, dump the black metal dragon from your deck, and then use the World Legacy Guard Dragon to bring that back and then combo with it. So that is something that you can keep your mind, or like you can keep in the back of your mind. So I would definitely keep your eye on this card. Other things that I would look out for and definitely encourage is, if you weren't already playing it, I would definitely tell you to start playing the Meteor package. Meteor is just so strong in Dragon Link. And it validates you playing the Gamma in your deck, which is already probably the best hand trap in the game. It's, I think, the only one that's limited. So definitely something to keep your eye on. The small worlds as well, you know, we talked about this. You don't need them to, you know, try and beat an Arise Heart by activating small world, searching Gamma, and then destroying it. So you don't need that anymore, but you could just play the small worlds as consistency boosters over the chaos spaces that were lost, because any dragon searches any other dragon. Excuse me. So those are things to keep your eye on. Another card that people ask me about all the time, I believe, is Duality. Let me see. Yeah. So Duality is one card that we might be willing to start playing now because we lost the Chaos Space. I am not a big fan of this card. I do not think this card is very, very good. I have not ever thought this card was very, very good. But it does have that effect, the secondary effect, that you can banish it from your graveyard to target a light and dark in the grave, shuffle both, and draw a card. That last effect might justify this card being included in the deck now, especially because of the fact that we do not have as many Seiferts as we used to. Or, well, not that we don't have as many Seiferts, but we don't have as many copies as the babies with the Chaos Space. But the thing I don't like about this is that it kind of doesn't solve the problem that we have, because to get into the Seifert, you need a Dark level 4, of which there are only like 4 in the deck, which are like the Collapse, the Tracers, and the Recharger. So it's not really great, because you have to tribute stuff that you don't really want to tribute in order to get into it. I think what's going to be more consistent now is to maybe bump the bestial count, the non-Magnamut bestial count, maybe play your Sarniers, and go for that Attune, and Attune Tutor into anything in your deck. Excuse me. And why do I think that's consistent? Now, this is not a combo that I showed on YouTube, I don't think. But there is a way, when you open Black Metal Dragon and any bestial, to pretty much always get into a Attune. So the Attune is actually way more consistent now with Meteor. And you might be wondering to yourself, how is that? Because Meteor summons as a level 7. There is actually a way to cheat out the Meteor as a level 6, and use the level 6 body to go into a tomb and then tutor anything from your deck. That is something that I will show you guys. This is running on a little bit long, so I won't show you guys that just yet. So I'll set a goal on this video. Let's just say like 100 likes or something like that. I'll post the video, because I think people want to see it. And speaking of like goals, the hand trap video is still coming. That is just, you know, gotten delayed with the move, and also the fact that that is a very hard video to make, as I have discovered going into it, because Dragon Link is a very complicated deck when playing into hand traps. So there's a lot to go into there, and I really want to make sure that that video is, you know, perfect for you guys, so that it really is all encompassing. So I haven't forgotten you guys. It's just, you know, tough project. Let's see. Are there any other things I want to talk about with Darren's deck list? Oh yeah, one thing that I guess I can mention about Darren's deck list is he did not play Chaos Angel or Baron. This is something that I toyed around with. I didn't end up doing, but he brought back the Quadboral and Delindrus. This is something that I saw success with at the Remote Duel YCS before Nationals, where we played these cards and I got top 8 at that event. And you know, they were pretty solid. The idea here was that Unchained very, very hard loses to Quadboral, so you know, you can kind of throw whatever at them and then just go into a Quadboral and pop their field and get a free soul charge. So very, very powerful stuff. So definitely something to keep your eye on, though personally I thought that the Chaos Angel was good for the Pearly matchup, so I kept it. But you could potentially just play this without the Delindrus and keep the Chaos Angel. Also, I'm reading my chat right now. They're asking about the Chaos Emperor Dragon, and I forgot that I should probably mention that. Please don't play that card. It is very, very bad, and it is very much a noob trap with this deck. It is something that people who are new to Dragon Link frequently gravitate towards because it's just not necessary, but like they value the resource gain. Maybe moving forward it might be worth it now with only the one chaos space, but even then I don't really feel like it's worth it because it's just like sometimes you draw it and then it's useful, and other times it just sits in your hand and does nothing. I don't know, it's not my favorite card. I've never really been a fan of it. Every time I put it in my deck I've ended up cutting it, just because it's just not worth it. Also, just while I'm thinking about it, there's the other card other than Duality. There's also Shadow's Light. I don't remember which one is the better one. I thought it was Duality. Maybe it's Shadow's Light. Let's pull this up. Tribute Dark Monster Special Light. Yeah, no, Duality was the one I think I was thinking of. Yeah, Duality was better. You're just mad you don't have a super? No, I'm mad I sold my super, Jibril. That's what I'm mad about. I had the super. I sold it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything to keep your eyes on. I mean, Dragon's still in a really good place. It has a really, really good Unchained matchup. So as long as people continue to play Unchained, Dragons, you know, just eats for days. The only deck in the metagame that I think you should be afraid of with this is Pearly. You know, and Pearly has its own problems that you can take advantage of and just deck build for. So with all that said, I mean, Dragon's still in a good place. It has taken another arrow to the knee, though. I mean, this deck is constantly getting beaten up on. But you know, I'll be back soon. I'll post my deck list pretty soon. But I just wanted to get this video out and keep you guys updated, keep you guys in the loop. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, etc. Come check us out on Twitch. We are doing the subathon. Come join chat. They're here. They bully me. Please join them in the bullying, and you can take part in the hostage taking if you want. Anyway, that's all for me. I'll see you guys next time.